Yeah, yo, what it do, Ethers, man? It's been a long time. We missed y'all, like for real. A lot of the times, I feel like when we don't do it, it's like a little piece of me's gone sometimes. Um, so just to let y'all know, a little quick little segment, real quick. It is the retrograde today, Mercury retrograde. It'll be in Leo all the way to the 11th of next month. So, um, I hope y'all okay. Y'all cardinal signs. I hope y'all good. But let's get into it with the intro. I got Chloe with me as usual. Clearly Chloe as usual.
Hello.
How y'all doing today, audience, and how you doing today?
Y'all, me and my all the thoughts in my head. Well, the council, if you will. We're good.
Cool, cool. All right. It's super hot today.
Oh my gosh, it's humid AF here. I was like, the girls that get it, get it. My under boob was sweating while I was doing my makeup in the bathroom because we have no central air. And I was like, I had my fan on me at mid makeup as I was doing it. It was hot.
Oh yeah, I haven't even I only stepped outside for a second and already sweated. It's insane today. It rained for a little bit and then back to the heat.
Yeah, say your gratitude for AC today, y'all.
Yeah, just make sure you guys are inside and stay hydrated.
Period.
But today's episode is about energy leaks and chakra tweaks.
Period.
A lot of people aren't as in tune with chakras and what that really means. It stems from like Buddhism, and a little more before that. It was even used back in the day in the AD times. Um, but we're gonna inform y'all a little bit of what's that really about. With my part, I'm gonna correlate the zodiacs and the planets, so they all go hand in hand in some way or some sort. So, without further ado, I'm gonna pop it off. I'm gonna start from the top all the way to the root. So with the crown chakra, it correlates with the third eye, right? So the pineal gland, I mean, not the pineal gland, sorry, the crown chakra is Leo, right? And the moon is your pineal gland, is where all your subconscious is stored, right? And right here on your crown is Leo. That's basically the segue point of below and above, right? Where we can tap into our aura and everything else outside of that. So these are the only two signs or two planets, the sun and the moon, that are they're like the most important. I'm gonna be honest, because for one, they don't share another sign. So this is the most prominent thing, and it's very important when the term pay attention, it's really important because what you feed your eyes, it it's fueling your pineal gland and your crown. Your crown is everything. Like in some Asian countries, it's frowned upon to pat somebody on the head because that's a real spiritual thing. It's like you're putting your essence on top of their crown chakra. So people kind of have to be careful when, be like, "Oh, good job." No, don't do that. First off, that's kind of disrespectful, you feel me?
Well, yeah, it's very degrading. Also, in Judaism, that's why men wear yarmulkes because I feel like it protects
Yeah.
up there
And some
too.
Africans, they wear kufis.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what those other hats are called. They have the little dashiki designs on them. They might be the same name. I don't know, but it's the same concept. Um, while the Turks wear turbans, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
we both unintentionally wore head wraps today, which is pretty funny.
saying? Yeah. Um, next is the throat chakra, right? That is governed by Mercury, which is shared with Gemini and Virgo. I'm gonna go with the light and the dark aspect. And when people actually hear that, they think it's good and bad. No, it's reflection, right?
Mm.
So when your throat chakra's too open, that is more of a Gemini thing, right? It's more like you're talkative, you're communicative, you know what I'm saying? You're communicating a lot. And in order for it not to be so expansive, shut up, right? Maybe you're talking too much. Maybe you're word vomiting, right? Or the flip side of that, the Virgo, you don't you don't talk enough, right? So
I wasn't expecting you to like say shut up like that. Caught me off guard. Sorry.
it's like with the Virgo aspect of the throat chakra, that means you don't talk enough. You're more in tuned to like talk when you need to. And with your Mercurian energy, in order to balance that, yes, know when to talk, but talk enough in order to be heard. Because a lot of people don't know the different aspects of the chakras when it comes to expanding it or disclosing it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when you use your different chakras, it's intended to be used in an equilibrium. It's not meant to be over expanded or not used at all, which leads back to the heart chakra, where I'm about to go through next. So the heart chakra, it deals with the heart, right? How much willpower you have. It's green. And the throat chakra, it's cyan or light blue, right?
We're
Just
gonna
to,
put in pictures like all throughout this video. Some of them have like descriptions and words, so feel free to like pause if you want to like read. And then later I will talk about like my cheat sheet that I'm gonna attach in the description, but just a preface that we're gonna be popping stuff up.
heard. So also to clarify, the heart chakra, it fuels your willpower. That's like it's a it's the middle ground of your upper three chakras and your lower chakras. So it's very important how much of your heart is open, right? And Mercury, right, like I explained, it's ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love. And you got Taurus, the light side, and Libra, the dark side. Now, the Taurus side is receiving. It's the receiving end. So when your heart chakra is too expanded, that means you're naive, right? You just accept anything. You're gullible. But if you're disclosed, that's the Libra side. You only open it to relate with someone one on one. Now, however you want to govern your heart chakra is up to you. But in my opinion, if you want to balance that Venus energy, I would not be as open and be have discernment on who to open your heart to or what, how much care you have with something. I would, tend to be careful with that. And also, if you wear a jade stone, that'll help. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, pretty much. So next would be the solar plexus. Now, this is governed by Mars, right? Now, Mars is about drive. That's basically your aura. That's the reason that you're moving in the first place with passion, right? And that's Aries and Scorpio, right? So with the Mars aspect, this person is a bullet train, right? If it's too open, it's like it doesn't matter what obstacles is in front of them. Now, you may tend to hurt somebody or even yourself if you're not too careful on listening to other opinions. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that. Like, no, you ain't gonna stop me. You just hating. Maybe not. Maybe you should determine if what they're saying is sound advice versus the Scorpio side, right? Where you're more reclusive, right? And you tend not to make opportunities. You wait too long for certain opportunities and stuff like that. So to balance that Mars energy, I would say keep that same drive, but just make sure all your wheels are working on that car. You feel me? Like know when to get off the exit. You know what I'm saying? Don't just drive on the highway for hours and don't wait too long to get on the interstate in general. Next is the sacral chakra, right? Now, this is the sexual energy. You know what I'm saying? It's right below the belt, right? And this is governed by Jupiter, which is Sag and Pisces. With that aspect, it would be more of the Sag side. You're very exploring, like you're much of an explorer, right? You like to experience new things and stuff like that. But in this aspect, you just like to experience, and this may fuel your sexual drive as an individual. You see what I'm saying? But you may be a horny motherfucker if it's too too open, right? But if it's too closed, you're more like a Pisces, right? Or you have Piscean, I think it said Piscean energy, right? Where you're very selective on opening yourself up, right? you may be you're tending to be more addicted to things, but like it's self-harming things, right?
Mhm.
You're not opening up as much. People don't know you as much. So I would say in order to heal that area, I would be less horny and also realize um not to fall too deep into temptation, you know what I'm saying? Um because this area, a lot of times these days, a lot of people sacral chakra is super open, like especially in America, like sex appeal is at an all-time high, you know what I'm saying? So I would just, chill out, horny ass thing. But next is the last one, which is the root chakra. This is like the most primal chakra. This is where we get our animalistic natures. And this is ruled by Saturn, right? So this aspect would be Aquarius and Capricorn. The Aquarian side would be more of how you see the world in a way that it relates to you, and make
Mhm.
sure that you don't you're not confusing illusion with reality, right?
Mhm.
Because sometimes when we get in our lower chakras, especially the root chakra, we tend to forget our our actual selves. We tend to be in reality too much. So that Aquarian energy kind of helps balance that. But if your root chakra is too open, you're kind of lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Versus the Capricorn side, where it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this, but it makes you too reclusive where it's like you're too 3D though. You know what I'm saying? You're too 3D. So it's like you kind of have to find a balance with that. And you may be self-disciplined and all that, but it's kind of like you may be robotic a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So to balance the Saturn side, make sure you discipline yourself in a way where you can still code switch. You know what I'm saying? You're not too lost, right? And also, as a footnote, different parts of the planet have chakra points too. As a
Mhm.
matter of fact, in California, that's where the planet's root chakra is at, which explains all the devious shit that's been happening over the years. So, I would research that. Also, if you didn't know, there's certain things, like certain, like I call them spirit lines, but they're called ley lines. They're lines of energies that are all across the world that connect with you depending on where you were born. And certain areas on the planet where you're born, those certain points are strongest with you depending on the planets, right? So, for example, my Venus line is somewhere overseas, right? I would be more loving over there, or I'll experience like more romantic energies over there. But my Pluto is somewhere on the West Coast, which means I'm gonna have a more darker time.
Mhm.
So I would research that. I will post a link in the description of that website. And I think I will post the website of the different chakra points on Earth too. So with that being said, that was my course of the chakras. I could go in deeper detail, but I'm gonna pass the mic to Chloe.
Thanks, babe. It was cool to kind of hear the planetary correlation because that's not something I was really aware of. I focused in my studies more on the energy centers and being aware of how the imbalances in those energy centers manifest physically and non-physically. I actually brought along my handy dandy empath and psychic abilities book that I'm going to kind of recap what you said and kind of just tying the chakras to kind of just like a sentence of a description of like what aspects they kind of go over. So I'm going to go backwards because you started with crown. I'm going to do most of my stuff starting with root because that's how I ordered it. But root chakra affects survival, defense, security, sexuality somewhat, and like primary areas of your life. So, like you said, it's kind of like your core, your 3D, your physical self. Your sacral chakra is imagination, originality, culture, confidence, joy, and movement. Um, Also, like expression, sexuality, creation in those ways as well. Solar plexus in here is confidence, willpower, assertiveness, dominance, need for control, communicating one's truth, and feeling brave. Heart chakra is affection, kindness, pleasure, interpersonal comfort, selflessness, and family or relationship. Throat chakra is contact, vocalization, reality sharing, promoting, and purification aspects of your life. Third eye is insight, imagination, literal and metaphorical sight, guidance, truth, interpretation, and manifestation, overall mindset. And crown is psychic power, spirituality, divinity, sense of self, goal, life path, and celestial awareness. I feel like there's a lot of talk in the spiritual community about opening your third eye chakra, and that's all great and fine and dandy. But I think that what happens is they neglect that if you don't do the work to align your lower chakras, it's not going to be possible for you to do that. And I feel like people then also stop at their third eye and they don't do the work to open up and balance their crown chakra either. Because I'll meet a lot of
Exactly.
people who are like, I open my third eye, I see things so differently. I feel like my intuition's really strong, but like I'm not getting the downloads or the guidance. And I'm like, because you just stopped here. There's
Right.
you have to connect to the universal wisdom, so there's a whole other layer. Plus there's like, I don't know too much about this, so I can't really speak to it, but I know that there are other energy centers that go up even higher than your crown chakra as
Yep.
well, and we can include that in the description as well. But I thought that that was an interesting like keyword kind of correlation to add on to what you said. And so I wanted to also kind of cover what those imbalances look like, because maybe you don't know if you need to tweak some of your chakras. So I'm going to give you some helpful hints. And I have my handy dandy me with my Capricorn as highlighted color coded guide. Okay. So, and I have to like keep it close to me so bitch can't see. So root chakra, obviously the theme, safety, survival, stability. The physical signs of those imbalance you may experience is like lower back pain, knee or leg issues, right? Because your root chakra doesn't just end kind of in your like tailbone area, it comes all the way down. Fatigue, constipation, immune system problems, those are all kind of physical manifestations if it's like really extremely imbalanced. Emotional and mental signs of an imbalanced root chakra, anxiety, fear, insecurity, obsessing over money, home, or job security, right? You feel very unstable in those aspects, or you feel ungrounded or dissociating in some way, or trouble focusing or feeling like you don't belong and kind of not, just shaky foundation. The sacral chakra, that's kind of emotions, pleasure, creativity, sexuality. Like if you're not orgasming during sex, your sacral chakra is probably real tight. Okay. Just a fair warning. And like sometimes I feel like a lot of women want to be like, it's the man's fault type shit. But like, I want to challenge you, do your own thing, chicken wing, figure out if you can even do it by yourself and like explore your body in that way. I don't think there are a lot of women out there, they find it like taboo to like play. You got to figure it out because
Yeah.
maybe you have a blockage mentally because of a limiting belief you have, or maybe you've had a lot of sexual trauma in the past and there's some healing to do in that energy center. So pay attention to things like that. um Reproductive issues, right? If you're having like issues with ovaries or anything like that, if you get UTIs, things like that. Lower hip or back pain, hip flexors. I'm also going to attach later images of different yoga poses to help free up energy in these places, in addition to tons of links on meditations, frequency healing, and actual yoga videos that I've done the research on so you don't have to, okay, that I found were pretty good. Some of them I've actually tried personally. But yeah, menstrual irregularities, urinary problems, things like that. Solar plexus, that's power, confidence, self-worth. Physical signs, digestive issues, ulcers, IBS, acid reflux, stomach pain or bloating, blood sugar imbalances, diabetes, things like that maybe could be a physical manifestation of that. Um, Emotional, mental signs, low self-esteem, self-doubt, perfectionism, need to control, anger, frustration, competitiveness, or feeling powerless or unmotivated. I also need to take a moment to pause here and say that like just because I'm explaining what some of the physical manifestations are of a semi-blocked chakra doesn't mean that you can like listen to a meditation and like think it like all goes away. If it's a consistent issue, there might be an actual physical medical problem and you should seek a healthcare professional.
That's
Okay.
her.
Okay. I think that disclaimer is very important because this is like if you notice little things out of the ordinary, you can do some of these tweaks at home and you might see a change in the result if you adjust from internally. But if you've been ignoring a certain aspect that's been unbalanced for a long time and the physical manifestation has, increased and it's like you're in deep physical pain, go seek help. Okay.
Yes.
I don't want to be that person and be like, yeah, just like meditate, you're like real deep issues away when you're like bleeding out of your butthole, like just fair warning. Crazy analogy, Chloe, but nonetheless, we're going to move on. Heart chakra, love, compassion, relationships, physical sign, heart palpitations, okay, chest tightness and pain, respiratory issues, lung issues, right, asthma, things like that, circulatory issues, emotional, mental signs, grief, jealousy, bitterness, fear of intimacy, vulnerability, inability to forgive, lack of empathy, or overgiving to others. I feel like I see in the collective the most in balance with heart chakra, sacral
Yeah.
chakra, like you said, like it's either people are not creatively expressing at all or they're doing way too much out of like fear of not being able to, you know what I mean? So I feel like but I say this like root chakra doesn't have a lot of people everyone's going to benefit from this basically. Um, I don't think the collective has a lot of issues with throat chakra, but if you do, this is kind of what it looks like. Sore throats, laryngitis, losing your voice, thyroid issues, jaw or neck stiffness. As someone who has on and off struggled with tension in her jaw for years of stress due to being in a relationship where I really had trouble speaking for myself and like honoring my boundaries and standing up for myself, like I developed a TMJ that I'm still healing because I
What's
don't
TMJ?
that's it's I forget the T. It's like a musculatory joint jaw pain issue.
Mm,
Sometimes people get it, if you go to like a medical professional, they'll say, do you grind your teeth at night type shit. Or like your jaw's tense, like you don't relax it a lot. So if I like let my jaw go and I go side to side, my jaw cracks because I think that for so long I held tension in there because I didn't feel like I was safe to speak freely. So you hold back your tongue basically for a little too long. So like fear of speaking or feeling like you're going to be misunderstood, dishonesty or withholding truth, over talking or being too blunt is kind of the other end of that. Difficulty expressing emotion, that kind of thing. Third eye, intuition, insight, perception, headaches or migraines, vision issues, sinus problems, sleep disturbances, lack of clarity or imagination, difficulty making decisions, feeling disconnected from intuition, illusions, paranoia, escapism. That's what that kind of looks like. And last but not least, crown chakra, spirituality, consciousness, connection to source. So this is what I was talking about earlier, how like maybe you're not having any physical manifestations of anything going on with your third eye. You feel like you're pretty clear. You feel like you're confident in making intuitive decisions, but you're like still feeling lost and like purposeless or, just spiritually disconnected, or you're still kind of closed minded. You might be struggling with like ego attachment or spiritual bypassing, depression or apathy, the physical things that kind of happen, chronic fatigue, light sensitivity, neurological issues, head pressure sensitivity. You also have to remember that when you're putting your attention on certain chakras and energy centers that you're actively trying to heal, you're gonna disrupt the entire system because it's like, whoa, you're doing energy work here. I'm scared, and it's gonna like kind of freak out a little bit and move a little bit. So you might be experiencing symptoms like in your crown chakra while you're doing heart space work. And then you're gonna be like, I feel like I can't get it all in alignment, but like trust the process, keep working on like uncovering those limiting beliefs and things that you think and moving certain parts of your body and trying to understand. I find that in my meditations, and like some of these meditations I link might do this, asking like, hey, root chakra, what do you need? Goes a long way. A lot of time you'll hear an answer in one way or another. Affirmations help a lot too. I'm gonna link and put in some pictures of here. I actually have a set of cards here from, this is my consciousness oracle deck. Look how pretty it is.
Fire.
So I'm gonna use these just as an example of an affirmation because I don't want to dive too much into all the other ones I have. I'm just gonna like link everything down below. But root chakra is, I have everything I need to survive and grow on the physical plane. Okay, so pretty. These cards are so nice. Sacral chakra, I feel comfortable in my own body and I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. Solar plexus is, I take actions daily that awaken my personal power. I love her. She's so golden. Heart is, I love myself and others unconditionally and nurture positive relationships. Throat chakras, I speak my truth and encourage others to speak theirs. Third eye chakra, I get this card all the time when I used to use this. I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply this wisdom in my life. Look how fucking cool she is.
That's sick.
And then last but not least, crown chakra. I know I am a part of source and my life is guided by divine wisdom.
Nice.
So those feel really hippy dippy woo woo if you've never done this kind of work before. So I would say if you read that or hear that and you're like, that's something I would probably never affirm to myself. That's why I'm going to attach other types of affirmations too. So like, for example, root chakra, if you feel like, you know, you're kind of unstable, just saying to yourself, like, I'm safe and I have everything I need, feels a little bit easier. You know, I am creative in all aspects of myself is the sacral chakra one. I am enough and I'm doing enough might be good for your solar plexus, or I'm capable and stand in my power might be good for solar plexus. Heart chakra, I forgive myself and others. I love all aspects of myself. Throat chakra. Sorry, Zoom is yelling at me saying I'm running out of time. I know, girl, we're good. I express my feelings easily and clearly, or, you know, I communicate effectively within myself and with everyone else. Third eye could be, you know, I trust the unfolding and becoming, or I experience clarity daily. Trust and listen to my intuition. Crown chakra, I'm guided. My wisdom is there. I'm connected to universal intelligence. I'm fully aware, awake, and honor the divine. That's my favorite one for crown chakra, because I feel really called to talk about the fact that there are people who are stuck on the third eye. It feels very significant to me. So I feel like there are people who are going to watch this to be like, yeah, I feel like I've done this work and I feel good in all other parts, but for some reason I'm still feeling lost in the sauce a little bit. And it's because there's a part of you that maybe believes in the chakras and like Kundalini awakenings, and maybe you've processed all the emotions, but you're still not feeling totally present. It's because you have not unlocked an understanding of something greater than yourself, of the energy that lives within us and everything that's made up of everything, because everything's an illusion, which is a whole nother topic for another day. But that's kind of my long-winded blurb on that. I do also just want to note really fast, just so you guys can kind of see it. Okay, it's a Google sheet. Okay, these are all different YouTube videos that I went ahead and researched that I linked for you guys. Okay. I really care. Okay. I want to make sure that I'm like, if I'm going to talk about a subject, I'm going to give it all that I know. Okay. So I put our references for some of the information that I've got my stuff on. I put meditations that are just affirmation meditations. I put meditations that are under an hour, meditations that are like sleep meditations, like up to 8 hours that you could just play while you're asleep. I put numerous chakra balancing, yoga stuff. Sometimes they even have it for specific chakras, but then they have ones that are for all of them. You also know that I'm a book queen, so I attached a bunch of different books on this. I also attached some tarot and oracle cards that relate to this as well, just for fun. I went down a rabbit hole, but I had a really good time, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. And then just for funsies, I put links to some like candles and different crystals, some like decor stuff that I just thought was really cute if you're a hippie girl like me. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on briefly, I'll definitely put the yoga cheat sheets in here in addition to that link, obviously, of videos. I don't want to speak out of my ass when it comes to what crystals are good for which energy centers. I'm going to put pictures in here. I linked some stuff down below. But I want to remind you that like crystals are not an absolute fix cure all. Like if you're going to lay down on the floor and you have the corresponding crystal, you know, lined up on all your energy centers, you're not going to wake up in 10 minutes and be like, I'm healed. Okay. So just be aware that there's more that goes into it. It's really going into your inner world and asking yourself, where do you feel unbalanced, whether that's using the physical manifestations as a clue, your emotional as a clue. But most of the time, if you close your eyes and you quiet all the noise, your attention will go right to the spot that needs your attention in order to heal. But yeah, I feel like I could breathe now. That was a long blurb. I wanted to make sure I fit it all in.
That was a good thought right there. And also, I wanted to say, if you are gonna dive into crystals, do not get moldavite. I gotta say that
It's not necessary for chakras. It's really not. It's not even going to be in any of the images I put, I don't think. That's a whole different ball game.
I know, but for people's curiosity, I have to say that don't get moldavite. I'm just letting y'all know.
And
Don't
if you
get
do, just be prepared.
seriously, like, yeah, because when people start researching these crystals, they're like, "Oh, this one's cool." All right,
Okay,
you heard it here.
here's my logic. I don't warn anyone against anything like that because if your spirit is calling you to do that, it's for a reason.
Yeah, but
Even if you know you're not gonna like
it's a
it, just
it's a reason. It's a reason I'm saying it though, like dead ass. Maybe you may need it though, but if you just doing it out of curiosity, don't get it, bro.
yeah, don't be impulsive with it. Just, you know, be mindful and be aware of what you're getting yourself into because it affects everyone differently. But my guess is that if you're seeking something like that, it's because there's a deeper rooted issue and or you just don't believe in it and you're like, nah, I ain't gonna do shit to me, and then it's probably gonna. So
It's
just
like using that edible. Like, I ain't kicking this edible weak. Then you're passed out some fucking where.
been there and also seen that.
Yeah, that was cool right there.
Yeah, I feel like we have put this off for a long time because we ended up just prioritizing other episodes, but I am glad because I ended up finding other things that I ended up being kind of good to loop in to this episode
It's wild because your past self already kind of jotted down already. So it's
all
kind
the
of like,
time.
so you was already prepared. You just
This
had to find
is,
the right time.
can I tell you? I haven't read this fucking book until today. I've had this for probably 2 years already.
See, that's
So
what I'm saying.
I be doing this. I intuitively get shit or seek shit or delay shit. And I'm sitting here feeling bad, like, man, why don't I feel like doing it? I feel bad, but my spirit's like, it's because there's other things that have to happen first, bitch. Like, chill, like, trust your intuition that I'm not having you do it right now for a good reason. So it's like, I just always am shown over and over and over again that I know even when I don't know. It's such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I get crystals and things for other people. Like I know someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't know what book to get and I really liked that one." You know, like random things, just synchronicities happen like that with me. And so I'm still learning how to trust the process. I'm still learning how to identify when something's out of whack. But I think the more you know yourself and can be aware of the patterns in your life, the easier it is to bring attention and awareness to them and make mindful, active changes to your inner energy. So that way you can begin to see the outer results change and feel better because you deserve to feel better, you know?
Nice. I've been wanting to do this episode for a hot minute.
I know.
I just wanted to do an episode in general. Like it didn't even matter what we was talking about. I just like seeing you and stuff, and then actually teaching people and having fun with y'all. So, you
Facts. Well, we hope you guys liked this. If you didn't already see our last episode, spiritual maintenance, definitely go check that out because it very much goes hand in hand with this episode. By the time this is dropping, probably the 25th, get ready because the following Monday, we're going to have a celestial check-in for the first weekend in August. So we're going to get you guys good going and ready. Make sure to drop a comment if you resonated with anything that we talked about here today. Check out my very long list of resources. Don't let my time be in vain, please.
yeah,
Okay.
because if you had a question, it's probably in that description box.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know that Spirit didn't leave you to make this for nothing, you guys.
Yeah.
But we love you so much, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.